Okay, in this lesson, we're going to take a look at how we can use the stuff that we've done on graphics and combine it with the stuff we've done on repetition to do a little bit of an animation here in Turing. So you need two files. You need graphics and animation.t, and you need starcraft1.jpg, which is an image file. These two things need to be in the same directory. So here I've got them both in my downloads folder. I'm going to open this up in Turing. And when we open it up, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there already. Most of it has been commented out. Okay? So first thing you should do is just run this thing. And what you get when you run it is it should draw something for you. It should draw a little UFO right in the center. Okay? So look at what I've done here in terms of the code. I've got a bunch of draw fill ovals, a bunch of draw fill boxes, draw fill ovals, and so on and so on. Those are all of the commands that draw this little UFO shape here. Okay? And inside all of them, instead of using numbers for my x and y coordinates, I've got these two variables, x and y, that I'm using. So all of this is done in terms of x and y, just like you guys did in those variable assignments back in Unit 3. And I've set my variables x and y to be the center of the screen. Okay, max x is the maximum x value, max y is the maximum y value, and then I'm dividing each of these by 2, and I'm using a division that gives you an integer, because if you're going to use these inside draw fill commands, you got to have integer values in x and y. Okay, so what we're going to want to do here is we want to make this little UFO move around the screen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these commands that draw the UFO, and I'm going to put them inside a loop. And then I'm going to put an end loop down at the bottom. Okay. And what I'm going to do each time through the loop is I am going to change, you guys can't see that, that's way down at the bottom. I'm going to change the value of x and y. Okay? So let's just do x first here. Each time I'm going to take x and I'm going to set it equal to x plus 1. Okay? And I'll hit F2 to indent this thing here. Okay? So what that's going to do is each time through the loop, it's just going to change the value of x, and we're going to draw the UFO again. So if I run this, what happens? The UFO zips over to the other side of the screen. Okay? Now, this looks kind of bad here because I haven't erased any of the previous copies. So we're going to fix this a little bit. But next thing I need to add in here is I need to add a condition to get my loop to stop. So I'll put in an exit when here. Exit when x is greater than 500. So I want to move it over until it gets to a position of 500, and then I'm going to exit that loop. Okay. So I'm drawing my UFO. I am going to change the value each time through. Okay, so now if I run this, it just moves it over a little bit, and then it stops. Now, I also want to, after I've drawn it, in order to see the next one, I want to erase the one that I have previously drawn. So I want to draw my UFO, and then I want a command in here that is going to erase the UFO, and then we're going to draw another one. So the easiest way to erase it right now is I'm just going to clear the screen. CLS clears the screen. Okay. Now, if I run this again, right now it's moving way too fast for us to see what's going on. So I want to slow everything down. By after I've drawn my UFO, I'm going to put in a little delay here. So remember, we've looked at delay before. It just puts like a little pause into your program here. So we draw our UFO, we pause for a second, less than a second, basically 1/20th of a second here. Then we erase it, and then we change the value of y, and then the loop repeats and we draw another one. So now when we run it, we see this thing sort of slowly moving across the screen. Oh, and then it disappears. Okay? So to prevent it from disappearing, I'm going to take this exit when, I'm going to chop it out, and I'm going to put it up here, okay, before I erase it. So now we see it slowly moving along here. and then it stops. Now, if I want it to move sort of up on an angle, I can change the value of y at the same time. So then it kind of goes up on an angle because I'm increasing both the x and the y. All right? So that's sort of the idea in animation here. You draw something, you wait for a little bit, you erase it, you change your variables a little bit, and then you draw it again. So we can fancy this up a bunch if we do something like before the loop, color back, set our background color to black here, color back, black, and we'll clear the screen here, and this guy can be moving around in space here. Okay? So there's a simple little animation there. Now, if you want to get super fancy, here's what you do. Okay? Everybody with me so far? What you want to do is go up to the top here where we've got all of this code here that I commented out, and you want to uncomment it. So highlight it, right-click, uncomment range. Okay? What this is going to do is this is going to import that picture we have saved and use it as the background. So here's how it works. We create a variable, an integer variable. We're calling it back for background. This command right here is what actually opens that image file. It creates a picture from the file in starcraft.jpg. Okay? There's a little bit of stuff in here to check and see if everything has worked okay. Basically, it'll output a message if something went wrong. And then we use this command pic.draw to actually draw that image on the screen that we have opened up. Okay? So if we run this with all of this stuff down here commented out, okay, don't do this in yours, just watch me do it in mine here. If I run this, all you're going to see is it open up that image and draw it as the background. Okay? So we got our background image. That's kind of neat. Now, what we want to do is combine these two things together. Background image and our animation. So we're going to start with the UFO at the center of our screen here. Okay? We don't need this clear screen anymore because we're going to have, that'll just erase our image. Okay? We're going to draw our UFO. We're going to wait. And then to erase our UFO, what we're going to do is we're going to redraw the background image by redrawing the background. Okay? So this command here that draws the background, pic.draw, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay? And then let's run. And there I got my little UFO moving around against my background. Okay? Sorry? Did you break it? All right. So we can do, fancy little things in here. Like we can change the way it moves, but that's the basics of animation. Drawing something, erasing it, changing the location, and then redrawing it again with a little bit of stuff on how you can import some pictures to make things look really fancy. All right? And that's where we're going to stop here today.